It's probably college. Ah, there's the host. DC Rod House. There you go. You better move it now, man. You are showing. I'm gonna make it down. Going back to the home back. You know, I know. All doors become closed. All doors become closed. All doors become all doors become closed. Narayana Namaskritya. I thought about being started in so like here I am for saying about non violation skill of God. But commentator Nashita Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttavashloke Dear Bhakti ICT. I regularly attending the Srimad Bhagavatam and the service. So and loving the devotional service. It's not provided with transcendental stuff. Established as a prevalent fact. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate. Fourth catch. Utragitam Bhagavata Stotram Sarve Setusata Tapanta Te Pas Vipur Varsana Ayuta Dalani Rudragitam Bhagavata Stotram Sarve Setusata Tapanta Te Pas Vipur Varsana Sangha Rudragitam Bhagavata Stotram Sarve Setusata Tapanta Te Pas Vipur Varsana Sangha Rudragitam Bhagavata Stotram Sarve Tapante Pur Varsana Rudragitam Bhagavata Stotram Sarve Arcita, 425. Yes. Roger Gatum, the song language. Bhagavataha of the Lord. Stotram, prayer. Sarve, all. Pracheta Saha. The princes known as Cheta. Japataha. Saita. They, all of Tapaha. Earth. They executed. Varshamanam of years. We've found 10,000. Dale within the world. To the public translation. First, all the Pracheta princes simply stood in the water and recited by this would be all the Pracheta princes simply stood in the water for 10,000 years and recited the prayers given to them. Of course, in the modern age, of the princes and the princes. However, living within the earth is process. One simply has to do it. I think live within one life. Certain favorable in those days, however, out of so many years of spirit, 2,000 years, 30, he would be assured of success. This was not very such. Although such a feat was quite possible in the sun. Namaho Padaya Krishna. Namaste. Om Jnana Chan. One day I'm going to evil bumps on the heart. Sadhvi comes out. Shiva. Hey Krishna, Karan, Ilman, Obesh, Kala, Tap, Karan, Krishabala, Sukhdevi, Kashi Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare. So these prayers were given in the previous the Chetas, the qualified princes, not the facilities provided by the other. Therefore, it says, great thing for traveling about court, made four proclamations. Rajaputra, Chiranjeevi, oh, Rajaputra, son of the king, prince, live forever. Muni, One of them died. And none of them died. Haji Mom liberty. And then for the butcher, no. So why these women? So for Raja Putra, the prince, normally, those who have privilege, high privilege, simply protest that. And therefore they become criminal. So, saying the person told you Clifford, Chiranji, you engage in so many simple activities for the and for the Putra, Brahmachari, simply doing time of study, meditation, you're qualified now. For the great devotee, great soul, Shivama, Marava, you die or you live safe life of the second. Pure devotees wherever they go. Simply engage in Krishna activities. So it doesn't matter whether they're living or not. I mean, everyone knows all living eternal. The soul never dies, but the quality, the condition of life may be different. It varies widely. We know in our own lifetimes on this planet, some people are living very, very high materially, and others are barely able to put together a meal in a day. So it's the quality of life varies. Life goes on in any way, any condition, but the quality of the life. So for the pure devotee, living here or not living, Narayana Parak Sarve, it stated that for those who are Narayana Parayana, completely sold out to the Supreme Lord, it doesn't matter to them where they live. Narayana Parak Sarve. Now, good question. Swarga, heavenly planet, Upper Varga, spiritual world, Naraka. No, it doesn't matter. Always going to engage in emotional. And then the last category was butcher. Butchers living a dirty life, killing animals, bloody life. But so don't live because you're living a horrible life. Don't die either. Because when you die, you're just going to suffer all of that. So we should try to be in the third category. We should try to come to the point of the devotees of the Lord, which is actually our natural state. The living entity is by nature pure, and it's just by material contamination that we think ourselves products of matter, engage in sinful activities. So the spiritual master's duty is to train us how to think properly, or to see things clearly. You can see yourself clearly, in other words, become self-realized, then you understand the position of all other living entities, or vice versa. If you become God-realized, self-realized, you don't have to make it. So we're trying to be Krishna conscious all the time. But Prophet said you can't be Krishna conscious if you're not conscious. So you have to be conscious of where you are, who you are, what your duties are, what you should do, what you should not do. This is conscious. And the beginning of Krishna consciousness, understand that we can't hide from Krishna anywhere, anytime, under any circumstances. Krishna seeing everything. Lord Shiva is also Trikalagya. He can see past, present, and future. So there are personalities like that, beginning from the Supreme Lord and his deputed agents in the material world, like Lord Shiva, Brahma, the sun, the moon. We cannot hide our activity. But it's the beginning of the impetus for surrendering to the Lord is to understand that we can't hide. Outlaws, ordinary outlaws, they think they can find some situation where they can hide from the government. But we cannot hide from the supreme governor, Krishna. So the potatoes, again, being qualified princes, they were asked by their father to take up responsible princely life, which means becoming Rajarshi. Again, the king or his heirs are not supposed to be just enjoyers of state. They're meant to live responsible lives. They have particular duties that they have to perform. So before taking up their princely duties, the Prachetas went off for meditation. Went out, like I said, in those ages, at age of the Yuga, they were going to live 100,000 years. So if you give 10,000 years for meditation, it's not a problem. For us, if we say we live 100 years, most people don't, but that's we're supposed to live 100 years. So if you give 10 years for austerity, for learning, it's not a big deal. Most of us give more than start school at say age 5, and quite often people studying up to age 25. So that's 20% of their life for people for study. So for the potatoes to give 10% of their 100,000 years, in other words, 10,000 years for austerity minutes, not a big deal. Prophet says, in this verse, it stated that they were, uh, actually, Prophet mentions that they were actually meditating on the water. And he said, in this age, you will find that to be amazing how somebody can meditate on it. Yeah, Prophet says, the living entity, life in the air or life in the water is just a matter of preparing. We have examples, other examples, not just potatoes. We have Jobari Muni. He was living in a lake in the Yamuna, meditating. So it was an ability that could be acquired. One could learn or be trained how to live underwater without any dome. Like nowadays, sometimes they do this. Take some submersible or build some dome underwater and go in there and pump it there artificially through underwater. Underwater. That's just they're living underwater. They're not living in the water. The Persians were not just underwater. They had that power. Mystic, or said anything mystic or mysterious means you don't know how to do it. Just because you don't know doesn't mean that no one knows. Just like we say something, oh, that's so mysterious. No, it's a mystery to you, but for others who know. So for those who know, it's not a mystery. So similarly, what means to us to be mystic, the ability to live in water, just means that we don't know how to do it. But for somebody who knows how to do it, it's not mystic, it's ordinary. We know there's a planet in this universe, Siddhaloka, where just by taking birth on the planet, you have all the mystic powers innate. It's just part of your nature. You don't have to be trained in mystic system. In other words, you're born with anima, mahima, anima, ishita, vishita. All of these perfections are there from birth. Anima to become smaller than the smallest, mahima to become bigger than the biggest, anima to become light. So all of these mystic powers are there innate. But on this planet, we shouldn't think that's unbelievable because we see there are other entities that have practically mystic powers, like mosquito. Fly, it can hover, tiny little thing. How many micrograms of matter that's there in the mosquito's body? So they claim they understand, but they don't understand. They could make one, make a mosquito, not just a mosquito. It's not a making, drones, very very small, like dragonfly size. But it's innate, it's inert matter. God has made a little mosquito that mates with other mosquitoes and produces billions of other mosquitoes. They don't need any factory. In their factories, they make these little drones that are very proud of them. They use them for spying. But those drones can't make other drones. Quite often, they crash because they run out of battery or whatever. But the mosquito, unfortunately, sometimes they get fueled by taking our blood. They refuel themselves, they recreate other mosquitoes like that. So Krishna's creation is perfect. The potatoes, they were meditating on their way to their austerity. They met Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva gave them a beautiful series of prayers that we find in the previous chapter, chapter 24. And so they offered their heartfelt obeisances to Lord Shiva, and they learned the prayers just by hearing. You didn't have to say, excuse me, Lord Shiva, can you write that down for me? Or can I record it on my phone? No. In that age, everybody was Shrutidar. Shrutidar means they hear once and they remember for life. The Srila Prabhupada said his guru, his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Saraswati Thakur was like that. He not staying connected. He had that ability to hear once and so again, this is actually innate ability of the spirit soul. Because in Kali Yuga, we're so fallen, so covered, these things seem like wrong. It's one impossible ability to have. Well, it's actually innate in the spirit. First of all, has all of these powers, distributed our ability. It's all there as part of the natural. Like when you're suffering from amnesia, can't even remember your family, where you came from. So that's not a normal condition. But by exposure and by curing if there's something wrong with the body physically, one can come back to one's state. Realize, yes, I'm from Auckland, I have a family here, this and that. So similarly, when one is spiritually ill, if we go to the qualified spiritual doctor, then we get the medicine. What is the medicine for this age? Age or showing Maya. Nashibara. Harinama Maha. Now to me, this is what I'm talking about. The ocean, the medicine for Kali Yuga, is just a chant as Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And if we do that, we'll be cured. The material amnesia will go away. Remember who we are, or me. The mirrors are right. Krishna are your things. So we will gradually wake up to that reality that we are eternal servants of Krishna, and then we will relate to each other in that way. Then there's no question of enmity for somebody who realizes that they're eternal servants of Krishna. There's no question. Prabhupada used to remind us, he said, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the supreme friend of everyone. Surinam Sarvabhuta. So if the master is friendly, how can the servants be unfriendly? See? The master, or master Krishna, says, I am the supreme friend of everyone. So following the footsteps of the master and please the master, we have to at least try to be friendly to each other. Everyone we meet, not just those who are already on the devotion path. Extended even to the insects, the animals. This is the real vision of a devotee. That my master, Krishna, is the eternal source and master of everyone. So how can I be inimical to my fellow servant? I have to try my best. So then one may be wondering, Arjuna is a pure devotee, Krishna induced him to kill. Yes, under certain circumstances, the master made it morning. Just like Prabhupada gave that example of himself. He was in the Mat in Calcutta, and his poor Maharaj was up on the second floor balcony and looking down, and he said, kill him. Prabhupada pursued the first, and then he looked around, a huge cobra here to Prabhupada. That's the kill him. So Brahmachari let us take and kill him. So Prabhupada said, and I was a little confused that here is a great saintly person, very, very merciful, how you could order that living entity to be killed. But it's a dangerous situation. So Prabhupada said later on, when I was reading 7th canto, I realized it says that verse. Yasya Manyu Masarashatatasya Odeta Sadhu Api Brishika Sarpahatya. That's verse. Prahlad Maharaj is confusing or asking or the Sri to diminish anger. So he says, but Yasya Manyu Masarashatatasya Odeta Sadhu Api Brishika Sarpahatya. That even the sadhus are happy when envious creatures are killed, like snakes and scorpions. So now you've killed this envious demon, Ranyakashipu. Nobody's upset. Nobody's upset. Everybody's happy. So this is the thing. Now these potatoes again, they were not ordinary self-sense enjoying princes. They were responsible. They were meditating when they took up the responsible position. Because they were meant to be Rajashis. Ruling, they have that ruling power, but reaching. A Raja, ruling side, converse with Vedic literature. What is their actual beauty? As Krishna says, that actually this Bhagavad Gita is meant for the Rajarshis. The philosophy of Bhagavad Gita is meant primarily for those class, that class, the elite rulers. And they're meant to have this saintly side also by hearing from saintly persons the Vedic literature. They would then know how to rule. And what is that proper rule? They're meant to lead the living entities under their rule, under their control, to achieve the goal of life. To achieve the goal of life. In other words, the goals that Krishna has stated. What does Krishna want us to do? He clearly states, Manmana, just these four things. Just do these four. First thing, Manmana. We are always thinking. Krishna says in Gita, you can't stop thinking even for a moment. So every one of us always thinking. Krishna says, direct that thinking power or the object of thought towards me. That's real meditation. Actually, every one of us is meditating, and you don't have to be taught how to meditate. You just have to find the right object of meditation. We're always meditating on something I want to do, someplace I want to go, some person I want to meet, or some person I don't want to meet. We're always meditating on something. So Krishna says, Manmana, turn that meditation power towards me. And if you do that, then lo and behold, we try to become devotees of unconditioned soul. Always disappointed. Isn't it? You devote your attention to some significant other, to some so-called friend, to some family member, and you're always disappointed. And even if that disappointment doesn't fully set in, then death breaks it away. So our relationship with Krishna goes beyond that. We will see each other. The Prophet said, you stick to this process, and there's an ISKCON in the spiritual world. But beyond that, no two living entities can guarantee that they'll be together in their next life. When Prophet was in England, John Lennon and his, I don't even think they were married at the time, girlfriend, no, went to see Prophet. And they were not as attracted as George Harrison because they had too many. But before they left, Yoko asked the Prophet, Swami, is there any way you can guarantee we'll be together in our next life? The Prophet said, no, that is not. So, under ordinary circumstances, one cannot guarantee that one's going to be with a particular person in one's next life. But if we stick to this bhakti process, that's not perfect, then Prophet said, yes, there's an ISKCON in the spiritual world. So, Manmana Bhava Madhmakto Madhyaji. Worship. Again, we have this tendency to worship great personalities. Sports figures or movie stars or politicians, or we have that natural tendency to worship someone great. And I realized after quite some time, this is why Prophet gave me this name, Arcita. Arcita comes from the Archana, same root as Archana, the worship process. So it means it's the name of Krishna, which means he's the most worthy of worship. So Prophet was reminding me, don't worship someone or a silly person. Because prior to coming to Krishna consciousness, I had that natural tendency. Some great basketball player or some great, track athlete or movie star. I wasn't so much into movies, but some great materially qualified person, we have that tendency to worship. Imagine literally worshiping someone just because they have a good voice. People do that. They love the way a particular person sings, and they literally worship them, willing to give their lives to them. If these followers of some great singer, they volunteer to do things for them. So, no, we should take that tendency and bring it to Krishna. Instead of volunteering to do something for some movie star or some great singer, volunteer to do something for Krishna. Go out and glorify Krishna. Read books about Krishna. Read Krishna's temple. Dress Christianly. Beautiful dressing of the deities. So that's what we should do. Take our time, our energy, and give it to Krishna. Because Krishna is the source of it. Without eating, nobody will work. Like Prabhupada said, without chanting Hare Krishna, without taking prasadam, then there's no Hare Krishna. So prasadam is very, very important. Should be produced profusely and distributed profusely. And then the devotees are happy. Chant Hare Krishna, take some prasadam, dance, hear some philosophy, and then the rest of the day just work for Krishna, whatever the spiritual master has asked us to do. And it varies. For some devotees, they may be sitting on a computer all day, but the spiritual master wants them to do some, online outreach or doing some account, whatever. So for each of us, our daily activities in spiritual consciousness vary widely. Yeah, somebody's picking up a book bag and going out on the street. Somebody's making arrangements for congregations, dressing the meeting, greeting, temple cooking. But the idea is to remain engaged 24/7, 365. Don't allow even one idle moment. It says, idle mind is a devil's workshop. As soon as we think, well, right now I don't have anything. Okay, Prabhupada said, you don't have anything practical to do it. Chant Hare Krishna. Put your hand in the V-man. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Very easy thing to do. Prabhupada says, these are our best friends. These are the best friends. So we should probably keep it well oiled and chant. Very best friend. By chanting, when we have nothing else to do, not that, many devotees repeat that line and Prabhupada said, okay, now I've finished my 16 months, I can do anything I can, well, please. But Prabhupada is actually making fun of them. He wasn't saying that the way we should think. He's saying that's the way we think it, but it's not right. That's not the way to think. Now that I've finished my 16 rounds, I can then finish my. No. Add more of it. Do something practical. Never an idle. That's one of the qualities, 26 qualities of the Karla come. They don't waste even a moment, not even 1 second. Every moment they're doing something. One of the 9 processes. They're engaged. So anyway, the potatoes are very fortunate. They met with Shiva. He gave them this beautiful prayer, which starts out with glorification of the Lord. So that's what they very happily did. And because of that, they become perfect. So we can follow them. We can't imitate them by meditating order. That we can't. We can follow their example. Learning these great prayers by great souls. We can learn those prayers, recite those prayers, or any of the prayers in the Bhagavatam, like these prayers. Or one that I always try to induce devotees to chant is the prayers of Shukadeva Goswami. He is the celebrated speaker of Bhagavatam. Many devotees don't know his prayers. So those are to be found in the 4th chapter of the 2nd canto, beginning with text 12. Some of them you may have heard, like Srila Prabhupada regularly recite Kirata Hunanda Kalita Prokasha, Abhir Shubhaya Mana Krishani, Dene Puja Papa, Yanapasha Ashaya, and Tasvai Krishna. All of those phrases, Kirata, Huna, Mantra, all of those, or people even more simple, more further removed from Vedic culture. They can be renovated. They can be saved by taking shelter of pure devotees. Why? Because the pure devotees are empowered. They themselves are shelter. Prabhupada said once, I belong to Krishna, you belong to me, therefore we don't try to go to Krishna. Pure devotee is Krishna's property. We become the property of the pure devotee, and that makes us Krishna. So again, we can follow the concept of the Vachitas, learn these wonderful prayers, recite them. So we'll stop here. Any questions? Mike has a very bad connection. Or it could be the wired, so it's a material thing. So I'm bad. I know because I assist with the audio system in New York. Quite often I go on Amazon and buy some more cables and stuff. Okay, nothing? All right. Yes, Bhataji? It's an open secret. Follow the sadhana that's been given. Eyes only take bath, no Mangalarti, come for the greeting, comfort fast. Dance, be happy. Chant and be happy. Prabhupada also said once, if you're following this process, Krishna consciousness comes to you, and you're not feeling happy, then something is wrong with the way you're doing it. No, there's nothing wrong with the process. The process is pure. And you can't blame others. The type of person that's fault or this quantity's fault or that person's fault. You can't blame others. You have to look at yourself. Prabhupada said, if you're practicing Krishna consciousness and you're not happy, find out what is your problem and fix it. Don't try to blame others. Don't try to. You can't run away from it. I quoted my godbrother who's a guru. I was having a long time ago. He said, my disciples, many of them are always bothering me. Guru Maharaj, can I leave this temple and go to that temple? Can I leave that temple and go to this temple? He said, they don't understand. Wherever they go, their minds go. And that's where the problem is. So you're not going to fix the problem just by changing the location. It may help if there's some real situation. But generally speaking, it's not going to help. Because the real problem is up here. It's in the mind. And your mind goes as you wherever you. So again, the first duty of the spiritual master is to teach us how to think properly. And if we accept the guidance of the spiritual master, learn how to think properly, doesn't matter whether we're in Auckland, before, or Mayapur, or even some really, really bad neighborhood in Soweto during the recharge festival. I met another one who was saying he's from South Africa. Anyway, he was saying, because I told him, Dr. Tirtha Maharaj would always ask me, how did this go? Maybe I should go just to say that and say what I got in that witness. But I said, I've heard so many bad stories. One Indian devotee in Los Angeles, from South Africa, he said, he was intent on staying there, even though things would get bad. But one day, he was driving his daughter home and they got carjacked. And they were going to kill him. Take the car. He said, please take the car. Don't kill us. So he begged and they didn't do. So he said after that, he decided no. So he left. Went to America. But this devotee that had been at recharge, he's from South Africa. He actually practiced grew up in Soweto, which is one of the worst parts. And he said, but my father went to the Soweto. He said, we would go there practice every day, stream Masada and have fire out. He didn't fight his father. So if we're engaged in the process, chanting Hare Krishna, giving it to others, taking prasadam, giving it to others, then we'll be happy anyway. Whether it's Paris or Auckland, we can be happy when it's fully surrendered. So that's the real secret, is that we have to surrender to the process of living. The more we reserve, we hold on, the heart, as is stated in the first canto, becomes steel framed. So even though you're chanting Hare Krishna, which makes you ecstatic, because your heart is steel framed, you don't feel it. And practically you want to give up. And that usually comes because of offenses. Sometimes the devotees, they make fun of some of my godbrothers who were highly situated and then fell down. It doesn't mean they weren't advanced. They were advanced, but until you come to the point of perfection, if you're not careful, you can fall. That's the point. That's the example we should take. Not that we make fun of them. We should take the example that even a highly advanced person can fall down if they make a mistake. And the two mistakes they usually make is they stop chanting seriously. They don't take the jumper seriously anymore. One time when the boy said, probably sometimes I'm so busy in this business. Okay, finish it the next day. But sometimes I'm so busy even the next day. Probably you find time to eat and sleep. You must find time to chant. So there's no excuse for not chanting 16 months. Again, if circumstances make you not catch up the next day. But you have to do it. And then the other mistake we make is offending the Lord. When you become elevated, especially against your position, tendency may be to not deal with other devotees nicely. And that Krishna will pull him up eventually. Krishna does not tolerate. So I've always said over the years, you can tell who is actually a nice devotee by how nice, how much the other devotee likes. If the ordinary rank and file devotees like somebody, that devotee is pretty well situated. But if they seem to be pretty well situated, but the devotees don't like them, they're not. So very careful. Chant nicely and avoid offending. If we do those two things, Krishna will keep us around. Is that okay? All right, Krishna. Anything else? What is your name again? Krishna? Any question? Okay. All right, Krishna. Consider about the attached. Okay. Forward. Hare